If you just picked up a brand new Steam Deck or you're looking for an upgrade, there are 6 categories of accessories that are sure to enhance your Steam Deck experience. Let's go over some of the best options for upgrading your Steam Deck heading into 2024. So before we dive into the list, a quick disclaimer. Unless I say otherwise, these are products that I have personally used and verified to work with the Steam Decks that I own. Some of these products have been sent to me by manufacturers for review, and I'll note on screen and in the product listing below which ones were given to me and which ones I purchased. If you see this icon on screen, it means the product was sent to me for review, but I wouldn't include it in this list unless I believed it was worth it. So with that out of the way, first up, if you've got a Steam Deck, you'll probably want to protect your investment. That's why I've got several of these JSOC screen protectors kicking around. I love these little plates that ensure that you perfectly attach your glass protector to the deck every time. Plus, if you've got the etched glass on the OLED or even the LCD models, this will undo the light scattering that can dull the apparent brightness and saturation of the screen. Though I do feel like the outrage surrounding that is pretty overblown. Then there's the kill switch. Of course, it's from Dbrand, everybody's heard of this thing. This fits perfectly on the Steam Deck, and you can get the travel cover that protects the screen, the buttons, the triggers, and thumbsticks in a much smaller footprint than the official Steam Deck case. Now, unfortunately, there haven't been the kind of accessories or attachments that I expected to see from Dbrand, but we will get to attachments in a minute. In the meantime, I want to talk about storage. For easy expansion, there's this 1TB micro SD card from SanDisk. It's an A2 class card with better random I/O performance, and it's the one that I personally use in my primary Steam Deck. And if you're feeling adventurous, there's the 1TB Sabrent Rocket 2230 NVMe, which you can use to upgrade your internal SSD. Now, this is the drive that I had working great for the last 6 months after I upgraded my 512GB Steam Deck LCD model with it. But admittedly, these are pretty bog standard upgrade paths. Nothing too interesting so far. However, with the new SteamOS 3.5.5 release, we now have a new option. USB storage devices are now automatically mounted and used in game mode. That means that you can connect any storage device to your deck and format it for SteamOS. So if you want a dedicated selection of games that you really only play in docked mode, then you can check this out. This dock has a full-sized M.2 slot. Now, you'll obviously need to supply your own M2 drive. There are many options here. For example, this crucial 2TB drive is 48% off, and you can get a 1TB drive for only $55. Now, this dock has HDMI 2.0, which supports 4K resolutions at 60Hz and multiple USB ports. And if you have the LCD model Steam Deck, the Ethernet port will come in handy as well. Now, at $80, the price might seem steep. Right now, it's 27% off, and it comes with a dedicated power supply when comparable docks don't. Power supplies in this PD range are often $20 to $40 on their own, and this means that you're free to use the OEM charger where you're actually already using it. And speaking of chargers, I wanted to touch on a few other options. Why? Because, well, the chargers that came with the Steam Deck LCD model have a pretty short cable, and the OLED's cable, while a bit longer, still is not perfect. That's why my very first upgrade was this Anker 60-watt charger. Not only did it allow me to supply my own charging cable at whatever length I want, I went with this 10-foot 100-watt charger from Anker, but it also has a Type A port that can quick charge a phone as well. Now, I'm always looking for ways to simplify, and this has really worked wonders for me. But wait, if you want to travel a ton and you want to play games on your deck and connect it to a TV or monitor at the same time, look no further than this 45-watt charger deck combo. This will simplify your travel experience. I've taken this across the country with me with a Next dock and a Steam Deck, and it's been a pretty awesome experience overall. It has a USB-C port that connects to your Steam Deck, a Type A port that connects an accessory, and an HDMI port to connect to a monitor. Now, I'm using this on my desk as the core of my Steam Deck capture setup. It's also how we live stream from the Steam Deck. It's great because we can connect one of our 8BitDo 2.4 GHz controllers to the USB port and play with virtually no latency. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you enjoying this video? Are you finding it helpful? Why not like that smash button to stay up to date with all the latest updates we've got going on over here? It's the best way to tell the algorithm you want to see more content like this. You can also subscribe if that's more your speed. I also want to thank my friends on Patreon and my YouTube members who make what I do here a reality. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Now, we've touched on the M2 docking station and the charger dock, but what if you want more expandability and more portability? Well, then a USB-C hub is what you're looking for, and I've got a few options to choose from. Now, I bought this guy a few years ago for my Nintendo Switch, and it worked pretty great, actually. It has power delivery pass-through, it has HDMI out, plus extra I/O, more than I would ever need for my Switch, connecting it to my TV. So when I got my deck, I immediately tried this, and despite it being this random nonsense brand, it just worked. However, 4K output on this thing is limited to 30 Hz, if that's an issue for you. So that's why I bought this guy instead. Yet another rando brand, but it has DisplayPort as well as 2 HDMI outs, and all the USB expansion I could need, plus an Ethernet jack. It's terrific. So speaking of USB hubs, if you're going anywhere with a hub, you're gonna want a way to manage it, along with anything else that you've connected to it. That's where the DeckMate comes in. Now, if you've never heard of this thing before, you're in for a treat. The DeckMate itself is this clip that securely attaches to your Steam Deck. Then it has a special design on the back that mates to the mechanism, which is a universal adapter that works with the DeckMate, the AllyMate, and the universal adapter. Now, the full setup linked below has 2 extremely strong adhesive mechanisms, 1 adhesive mechanism plate, a wall mount with screws and wall anchors, a VESA mount with nuts and bolts, and a kickstand. Plus, the DeckMate has storage for 2 microSD card slots. This is an excellent little piece of engineering. I've used it with my LCD model, and now it's on my OLED. It's extremely durable. I mean, I've strapped a 30,000 milliamp hour battery to the back of this thing, and this is using one of the adhesive mechanisms, and it is extremely hefty, but it makes for a highly portable little package if it's a little heavier. I swear by the DeckMate, and I love it. All right, so accessories are out of the way. Let's talk about Gamepads for the Steam Deck. Now, each is going to have their own drawbacks and their own benefits, and whatever controller you're going to pick will depend on your own preferences, but also, in many cases, what games you're actually playing. Now, obviously, the deck has its own controller built in, but if you are looking for a second player to be able to play with you, or you're looking to play docked, you're gonna need another controller. Now, first up, we have the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. This is a great controller that's well built. It has a good D-pad, which, as you'll see, is a serious consideration for me. It has nice large buttons and gyro control. It's a fantastic all-around controller, and it's well supported by Steam input. But my biggest issues with this gamepad is that it's got the nasty Xbox-style thumbstick layout, it has digital triggers, and it has the Nintendo button layout, obviously. Most of this is fine, and I can work around it, but the digital triggers are a non-starter for me in many of the games I enjoy most, for example, racing games. Now, that's where the 8BitDo Pro 2 controller comes in. This thing is wonderful. It's very similar to the Switch Pro controller, but with analog triggers that feel great. Plus, it has the PlayStation thumbstick arrangement, which suits the other games that I love, platformers. The D-pad here is excellent too. My biggest issue with this controller is that while it supports multiple different modes with the switch on the back here, there's no one mode that supports all the features at once. And that's quite annoying to me. For example, you can't have analog triggers and gyro input and grip button support all at once. At least I haven't been able to figure out how to do this yet. Next up is the 8BitDo Ultimate controllers. There's the 8BitDo 2.4 GHz and the Ultimate Bluetooth controller. These two are very similar. This is the Ultimate 2.4 GHz controller, and it has 2 modes, X input and generic gamepad. And it comes with its own docking station with a USB dongle for easy connection. And this is the Ultimate Bluetooth controller. It's a Nintendo-style layout for the face buttons and has 2 modes, 2.4 GHz and Bluetooth. This also has its own docking station with the same dongle, but this dongle is only used in 2.4 GHz mode. Now, both of these are excellent options, but for the Steam Deck specifically, I think the Ultimate Bluetooth controller might take the edge simply due to its option to connect via Bluetooth and not require the 2.4 GHz adapter being plugged into a Type A port, which the Steam Deck doesn't natively have. However, my favorite controller for the Steam Deck has got to be the DualSense. This is the PlayStation 5 controller. Not only does it have what I believe to be the best D-pad in class, it also has other features that I feel make it stand out in terms of feature parity with the Steam Deck's native controller, namely the center trackpad. Now, I know that there's a vocal minority of folks who hate the trackpads on the Steam Deck, but I think that they're absolutely critical for playing certain games. And the fact that the center trackpad on the DualSense can be configured to mimic the trackpads on the deck make it the closest thing to a first-party Steam Deck controller, at least in my book, and that's why it's my favorite. There's also the DualSense Edge, which has grip buttons. I've never tried this, but it does look pretty sweet. Well, that's my list. Hopefully you found it helpful, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you like that smash button down below. You can also get subscribed to stay up to date with all the fun stuff that I'm doing here on the channel. I want to take a moment to thank my patrons and my YouTube members who make what I do here a reality. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this, so thanks. I think that's going to do it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great holiday season, and I'll see you guys next time.